right into it. What have you been up to? What have you been up to these past? What have you been up to these past few weeks?
Well, kids are out of school now. Remote schooling was a challenge. So once my wife figured that out and we got that dialed in, things started running a lot smoother. And from there, now my son, he plays a lot. My girls were keeping him busy, with ballet classes and stuff through Zoom. But just working out with myself, working out with my son, and that's it, pretty much.
Yeah, I think for me, man, like when the pandemic hit, I was like, oh man, I got to be home. I've never been home this much, but I'm actually enjoying it, man. I'm doing stuff like you said. I'm working with my son every day. My girls, we're in the gym as well. Like, so it's just things that I was never here for. 14 years in the league, and you had a long, great career. It's just one of those things that it's a blessing in disguise. And I know you still trying to continue to play, and I think you should be able. I think you should be on a roster. One of my favorite all-time players. One of the guys I hated playing against.
Hey, I hated playing against you too, Jameer. I hated it. I'm like, man, this dude got handle. He can shoot. How do you guard this? And then you can just guard it too. I'm like, man, somebody else bring it up. I'm gonna catch you here if I can do something over here.
Yeah, but it's funny. Like, I was talking about, like, we had battles in Atlanta. And I would take the challenge. Like, you know what? Let me try to guard Jamal. Whether I can or can't, I'm just at least trying my hardest. And you just gonna have good games. I knew it, and I took that and I ran with it, man. But it was always an honor for me to try to guard you because I knew it was gonna be a tough cover every night.
Nah, and I only took the challenge to shoot for so long. I said, hey, somebody else got to come over here. I'm gonna help from the side. Hey, the way you was splitting pick and rolls and pulling up, I'm like, I don't want no problems. But nah, man, it was always an honor. I remember we played you guys 2 years in a row. And the first year, you guys swept us. Like you guys broke a record at the time, like the biggest margin of victory. So I think you guys beat us by like 20 plus. The next year we played you guys and we didn't double Dwight, so we played straight up and we had more success. But those were fun battles, man. And just like watching you turn to an all-star and watching you, do your thing in college and watching your growth and how you led the team. Like you had a great career, bro. And I thought you should have still been playing. I don't know if you wanted to stop or what, but you know how they're doing vets now, which is crazy to me.
It's become a young league, and man, we're gonna let you talk, man. But we chopping it up right now. You know what I'm saying?
Go for it, guys.
One of those things. I felt like
one right here.
Yeah, I felt like I still could have played. I still had something to offer. And I still think I do, but it's just that they rather have the younger guy. That's gonna cost them less money, and I read something you said the other day on Twitter. It's like, I was asked to do this, I was asked to do that, I did that. How wasn't I coachable? And for you to be like the ultimate scorer, to transform your game into what you did at the end of your career, like, you deserve a lot of credit for that. You deserve a lot of credit because you put up 55 your last game or 50 your last game, so you obviously still get buckets.
51.
And that was the thing, and I was trying to explain to people. I'm like, you guys don't understand on the outside looking in. Once you get a certain age or a certain point in your career, you're asked to do different things. It doesn't mean you can't do the other things, but if I don't do those things, now I'm a problem. And now it's like, oh, he's not coachable. Why do we want him in the program? I'm like, no, I'm gonna do those things. But when I do, the outside world can't say, oh, he's not averaging this still. No, I can still hoop for sure. I can still do the exact same things, but I was asked to do something else. And I honestly thought that should have been applauded as well, because you know how it is when you're on a young team. I wasn't the vet, like, I'm just going for my numbers. I'm like, no, it's y'all show. It's y'all time. I'm going to help you guys as much as I'm going to try to get you going, things of that nature. So, and my teammates appreciated it, but people on the outside just look like, oh, he only averaged 8 points. He's washed. I'm like, washed? I had my highest scoring month, besides the 50-point game. I had my highest scoring month of my career. It was a short month, granted, but I averaged 31 points off the bench in 4 games. And more importantly, we won half those games, and that was saying a lot, because we didn't win a lot last year. You know what I mean? So I thought at least I could still hoop. But, like you said, it's a younger league. When we grew up, we were the younger guys and we understood it. But now it's even younger. If you go to school for a year, it's like a college. Honestly, like the NBA is like a college. You have vets, but it's more like younger kids, and that's what they want. Yeah. So I'll just wait my time.
Like you said, when we came to the league, it was maybe 2 young guys on the team.
Yeah.
And all vets. Now it's reverse. It's 2 vets and all young guys. And You know, and I was talking to a executive. I'm like, that you can't blame me for leading the way I lead. You know, they were telling me basically I was too rough on guys. I was too tough. I needed to show, I needed to back off a little bit. I said, well, this is how I was taught.
Right.
And I think sometimes the integrity of what has been given to us is being taken away. Like, you need to carry bags. You know what I'm saying? You need to carry bags. You need to
and for me, like, I didn't learn how to be a pro until I had vets on the team. You know what I mean? And I think vets are important, not just in sports, but in any role of life, right? If you want to be the best writer or journalist, well, then go learn from people that have been doing it for 20 years or 15 years or have experience, so they can tell you what to do, what not to do, how you should prepare, how you should not do certain things. And I think that sets the foundation for any young player or person coming up in whatever field it is. But it's like now, it's so young. Like Michael Jordan is the best player ever. He was still winning championships and MVPs at 35. Like, it was a grown man league back then. Now it's like kids. You know what I mean? And it's not no disrespect to them. It's just I still think there's a place for vets. And I'll always
Is there a veteran? Is there a veteran either of you had? You know, that this was for you, Jameer and Jamal. They really did teach.
Go ahead, Mark.
Oh, for me, it was Charles Oakley. You know, Rick Brunson. I had Kendall Gill, B.J. Armstrong. He wasn't playing at the time. Him and Pete Myers, they weren't playing, but they were working with the organization. And so they would kind of lead me as well. So I had really, really good vets. You know what I mean? Antonio Davis, guys like that. Solid vets.
The real vets. You had the real vets.
Yeah, like set the foundation for my career. I played with Scottie Pippen, right? Like, so I played with him his last year, and just seeing the professionalism and seeing the mind, the way they think and the way they prepare, all those little things matter, you know? And so I just thought, you know, vets, they set the tone for me.
Yeah, I had Steve Francis and Cat, and people say, oh, you know, those guys are crazy, but they taught me a lot how to work, especially Cat. You know, and one thing is, you know, as an NBA, you got to learn how to go out too. You know, and they taught me how to go out, you know, and play. If you're going to hang out, you got to be able to recover and do the right things. But it's also I had Stacey Augmon, you know, a big part of my development early. I had Grant Hill, Pat Garrity. I mean, and then I was surrounded by a lot of really, really good dudes my entire career. I felt like Orlando did a great job of getting high character guys and piecing us together year by year, you know, and just say we would lose a guy, they would put somebody else in that position with a similar character that we knew Dwight was going to be Dwight. We knew Vince was going to be Vince when we just needed guys to add around those guys and guys with good character, man. That's why I think the main reason why we were winning at such a high clip.
Yeah, and I think you guys did a good job of keeping the core together longer. You know what I mean? So you guys were used to each other. And I always say, if you care about somebody off the court, you'll run through a wall for them on the court, because you know when he yells at you in the game, it's coming from a good place. It's not coming from a place of trying to embarrass you or any of that. So I was always very fond of you guys and how you guys – and don't you talking about Dwight and Vince. Don't forget about yourself. Like I said, all-star Jameer Nelson. So like that core group that you guys had, like you guys just added – you added Rashard, added Turk. You know what I mean? Just different pieces. JJ Redick stayed there 6 or 7 years. You guys really did a good job. And that was Otis. Was he the GM then?
Say that again.
Otis the GM then?
Yeah, Otis was the GM. We had Stan.
Yeah, so you guys did a really good job.
That was a core right there, like you're saying. That was part of the core as well. Those guys.
Yeah, for sure. You did a good job.
Jamal,
I got a question. I got a question right here.
Mm-hmm.
Like for you, do you have a timetable on when you're saying, you know what, I'm hanging it up? I mean, I think I look at you. I'm like, no matter if he's playing in NBA or wherever, he's gonna hoop and he's gonna be the same. You one of those guys to me that don't age. One of those guys that's going to continue to be really good at his craft, just because of who you are and what you put on in your career. So, do you have a timetable, like when you say I'm done?
I don't know if I have a timetable, but I think, like, to be honest with you, I have never said this. So you're getting something fresh. I would think for me, it would probably be some point next season. You know what I mean? Like, it may not be the beginning of the next season. Maybe a team in the playoffs then, or fighting for the playoffs later on in the season. And at that point, probably if it doesn't happen, I would probably say, okay, that's it. And you know how it is. Mentally, I think that's the hardest thing. And that's why I think not playing this season has helped my transition whenever it comes to an end, because seeing the things, like I stopped watching full games for a while. And one time I was watching the game, my daughter was like, "Hey, I want you to take me to the dance." And that was probably the first time ever where I just stopped cold turkey watching the game. Like, okay, let's go to the dance. I had no plans on taking her to dance that day. I didn't know she was wanted to go to a dance, but things like that, you see what's important and what's not. Like yesterday, my son caught his first fish. And he plays basketball. It was like he hit a game-winning shot. Like he was so excited, just missing those things. And I'm sure, last year was the first year where they didn't stay with me because I signed a day before the season, so kids were already in school and everything. And I said last year, I was like, I could only go through one more year like that where I'm separate from him. So, yeah, God has a funny way of working out things. So, we'll see what happens in the future.
Yep.
Yeah.
Looking at the playoffs, Jameer is all, LeBron, the Lakers are winning the championship no matter what. I take the Clippers. How do you see that? How do you see it playing out?
I think the Clippers as well, and only because, especially losing A.B. Bradley, that's going to hurt from a defensive standpoint.
Yeah, that's going to hurt.
That's going to hurt big time. But I thought the Clippers had more guys who can create shots. And Jameer knows, having all the success they had in the playoffs, you need guys because everybody knows everybody's plays at that point. So you need guys who can just generate something. And I think the Clippers have more guys who can do that between Kawhi, PG, and Lou, right? And you can go to Montrezl on the post in the pick and roll. So I think they have more closers. But I think if it went 7 games and the Lakers etched it out, I wouldn't be shocked. But I think the Clippers right now are probably a little bit more prepared. And I think they've had time to get their main guys healthy again, guys who are banged up over this period.
Yeah, see, my only thing with the Clippers, sometimes too much is too much, if that makes sense.
You're right.
So, like you said, like who's going to be the closer? And you got 2 guys coming off the bench who can be all-stars on pretty much any other team.
Yeah.
And then you got Kawhi, and then it's just so many guys that can close from. It can be a gift and a curse. And I have the ultimate respect for Doc, and I think he'll figure it out. But with that Lakers team, it's either 1 or 2 guys.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's 1 or 2 guys, and I think that when you simplify things and you make it simple for the rest of the team, everybody can fall into their role and be a little more comfortable, especially down the stretch. Once you get down the stretch, you want guys to say, you know what, I'm in this corner. Coach is going to call this play. This guy has the ball. I know exactly what we're doing.
I totally agree with you. I feel like less is more as well. I think with the Clippers, the only thing is I think they know they're playing through Kawhi, right? Unless PG really has it going. But I think they know they're playing through Kawhi. I think Lou and Trez are okay with that. But I think on the Lakers side, if you're playing through those 2 guys, I think Danny Green's the only one that's proven he can hit big shots on that stage as of right now. Right? The other guys, I'm sure, will come through at some point, but at that stage, the championship level stage, where you have to hit shots and consistently, Danny Green's the one who's kind of proved he can do it. So it'll be fun, and I think that either way, the championship comes out of LA in the West.
Well, Kuz is going to be the X factor for both.
He's going to be the guy
for both teams.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
The one thing is if he stays in that 16, 17-point range, he's good. But once he gets down to 10 or 11, they need that third scorer in that 15 to 16 range because historically LeBron's going to get 34 points a game.
Yeah, and
we don't know what AD is going to do. We don't know because he hasn't played in too many playoff series. But if you look at who he is and what he's capable of doing, he's going to get you 30 points a game.
For sure.
And an extra 15 to 17.
Yeah, and Kuz is the guy who can generate offense other than LeBron or AD generated it for him. So he's definitely that X factor.
Right.
He cannot have a 2 for 16 night, a 3 for 15 night. He's got to give you an efficient 15, 16 points. I feel like for most of the playoffs, if they're going to get to that level.
Well, he's going to have to grow up and be Chris Bosh. I mean, Chris Bosh played against D Wade and played alongside D Wade and LeBron, and he settled in terms of in that role, and he did it effectively. He did it well. And I know Kuz is young. He's fighting for contract and money and all that stuff. But when you win, that's when you get paid.
Yeah.
You can win now, and then he can go to another organization later in his career and get the big money. I mean, but it depends on how he wants to play his situation out. And I think, he controls his own destiny right now. They win the championship, he's going to get max.
Yeah, and like you said, if he proves he's a consistent third guy under that kind of pressure and those type of lights, a different team will say, well, you come be our first guy. You've proven you can be a championship level third piece. You can definitely be a first piece for us if we're trying to build towards that.
Yep.
Jamal, what are your thoughts on the bubble as a whole, just with everything going on in the country? What are your thoughts on the bubble situation?
Well, it's a few different layers to it, but I guess through the pandemic part of it, that part's like the unknown, right? And if you look and pay attention, Florida is really spiking up with cases, and that's kind of scary, just from the standpoint that the players are locked down, but the staff that are working there isn't, and they can kind of come and go as they please. So I think it's kind of easy to possibly get something, but I'm sure the NBA has thought that out as well. From the social injustice part of it, I have no problem sitting out if everybody else is sitting out. I would just want to know, what are we sitting out for? What are we trying to gain from it? And if you would need a plan in place. And if you say, hey, we have a plan, we want X, Y, and Z, we want this amount to go to Black Lives Matter, we want this amount to go to NAACP fund, or this amount to do this, then you say, okay, we're sitting out unless we get this. But there has to be a plan in place for that, you know. Right. And then the other part of it, I think, is just being isolated, which is fine for me because I'm a homebody anyway. And when I'm on the road, like, man, we don't even see you unless it's at the gym. So I'm cool with that part. For other guys, I think you just got to mentally make the transition and say, okay, I'm going to lock in before I go there. I know I'm sacrificing 3 months of isolation, but if I have a chance at a championship, then it's worth it. So just different layers.
Yeah. Again, I want to apologize, especially for everybody who's going to watch this and listen. I'm on the
I love it.
You know what I'm saying?
I love it. That's authenticity. This is not scripted. It's real. I love it.
Yeah. Like I said, the opportunity presented itself. You know, we got a chance to have a living legend on the Court Vision podcast, man. And you know, like I said, somebody I always looked up to and battled against, and knew it was gonna be tough, man.
Hey, Jameer is so powerful in these parts, he don't even know it. Nate Robinson named his son Jameer.
I know, he told me that.
Hey, that's real. That's real.
That's love right there, man.
Yeah,
love.
Man.